Well, new tonight, we're turning our focus to what the Biden presidency may mean for America's standing in the world, foreign policy. Joining us to discuss the differences and similarities with the Trump administration's time in office is former ambassador to Belgium under President Obama, Howard Gutman. Mr. Gutman, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks, Rob. Pleasure to be here.
President Trump came into office 4 years ago with a widely advertised America First policy. How do you think that has played out over the last 4 years, and exactly what will President Biden in a few days inherit in terms of the aftermath of that policy?
So in some areas, for the Biden administration, it had surprising results. The accords between the UAE and Israel and, the Saudis and Israel and Qatar-Saudi peace. But for most of it, it's not on the same page. And to realize where Biden will go, he will go right where Obama left off, because in fact, the team is precisely the team that it was with Obama. So our Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, in 2016 was Deputy Secretary of State. The new number 2, Wendy Sherman, she was the number 3. Basically, you took the foreign policy team in 2016 under Obama, shuffled it just a little bit, and it's remained in place, and it will continue most of the policies in place.
And once you really take a look at the world and try to get a sense of what the next president is inheriting and the hot spots around the world, I mean, you look at rejoining the World Health Organization, you look at NATO, you look at the Paris Climate Accord, the Iran nuclear deal, North Korea, Russia, China, Israel. What do you think becomes priority number 1, and how do you think Team Biden will try to differentiate itself from Team Trump?
So day one, Joe Biden will announce we're rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, which is basically the president either saying yes or no, because it never got ratified as a treaty. We've never had it as a force of law. But his announcement that we're in, that will pay the bills, that will be the beginning of the re-engagement with Europe. Europe has long given up on America in the last 4 years. I don't think Angela Merkel picks up the phone very often to call President Trump, but there will be that re-engagement. And with that will go a focus on human rights. There will be a new arm's length distance with Russia. I don't think anyone was comfortable with how close we became with Russia under President Trump, and always the issue as to why. But in some areas, for example, the progress in the Middle East with Israel and the UAE, I don't think that will change. I think that's sort of the new normal, and Biden will pick it up from there. North Korea will remain far more arm's length than it was, because we don't deal with terrorists or people threatening world security until they're ready to deal on our terms.
Just to pause you there for a moment, Trump's relationship with Kim Jong-un was such a major part of this presidency. When the president went to North Korea and went to the DMZ, have we made any headway with North Korea after that somewhat rocky, hard to decipher relationship between the two leaders?
It's hard to know. I personally believe engagement has a value in its own, but there's got to be a basic sanity. So I think the South Koreans were originally encouraged, but I haven't seen fewer tests. I haven't seen any pledges towards security. I think we'll take it arm's length and see where we go from there. And I think we'll make people earn it. The one place we've gotten more distant with Trump, but will stay, I think, is with China. I think the Democrats and the Republicans realize that China is a threat on IP, on security, on privacy, and therefore things like Huawei and the like, those policies won't change, although tariff policy will probably change.
And, sir, obviously another defining issue of this administration has been immigration. We remember build the wall, Mexico will pay for it, families being separated there at the border, the pictures of kids in cages. And so where Biden goes from here should be interesting. And along that line, some breaking news from the Associated Press tonight. President-elect Joe Biden is readying legislation that would provide an 8-year path to citizenship for an estimated 11 million people living in the U.S. without legal status, a sharp reversal from Trump administration's immigration policies. I know I'm catching a little cold on that, but any gut reaction to that change of pace?
Sure. So, Rob, focus on 2 things: what Joe Biden can do by executive action and what would take legislation. I think immediately you'll see the end of the wall and replacing it with technology. You will see uniting families that have been separated immediately. You'll see increased eligibility for asylum, a moratorium on deportations. But the idea of a grand immigration reform, he's proposing it to please the progressives in our party. But I don't think that legislation is on the doorstep. He would need to get that through a very close Senate. So I think you will see a change in our immigration policy through evolution, but not through revolution. You will see the doors open more, but not open borders. And you'll see the Dreamers get a 4-year extension. By the way, I am the son of an illegal immigrant. My father spent 27 months hiding in the woods of Poland from the Nazis, and then afterwards got in, later pardoned by Eisenhower, as did all the people who came in the country after the war. But I can well sympathize and empathize with the Dreamers.
Literally 10 seconds. One word to describe Trump foreign policy, one word to describe what you expect Biden foreign policy to look like. Literally one word for both.
Trump was America First isolationist. Biden's America First leading the world.
All right. Howard Gutman, thank you so much for your time. And I appreciate your expertise and your insight. We'll see what the next chapter has in store.
All the very best. Thanks so much, Rob.
Take care.